A kidnapped child found safe. Now the hunt for the gunman who burst into a home and took him. New details about the investigation just coming in. A summer storm sweeps through Dallas, twisting steel and tearing pieces off buildings. The Supreme Court says a Texas law on abortion clinics is unconstitutional.
Without question, today's Supreme Court decision is a game changer.
This is a devastating blow to women's safety and health.
Tonight, Wendy Davis, whose famous filibuster in Austin drew the nation's attention, talks about the ruling. Plus, the voice of the homeless.
There are mountains in our way.
In a sound you haven't heard before.
Live from Victory Park, this is News 8 at 10.
The first to 10, the frantic search for a 10-year-old boy kidnapped at gunpoint is over, and that child is safe. Dallas police located Nicholas Fierros Jr. nearly 8 hours after his family called 911 saying masked gunmen had taken him from a home. The little boy was located tonight along Ann Arbor Avenue, about 5 miles from the home from which he was taken on Buick Avenue, after an alert citizen recognized his face. Channel 8's Rebecca Lopez tonight live. And you spoke with the very brave young girl who called police on this.
We did, and family members say they are very relieved that Nicholas has been found. They were obviously fearing the worst, but hoping for the best. And tonight, he has been reunited with his parents as those family members recount the terrorizing moments inside this home.
And I was so scared. I didn't know what to do.
14-year-old Janet Cabrales was in her room when she heard robbers kick in the door to her home. She called 911.
And then out of nowhere, I just hear them coming into my mom's room and my dad's room. And then I didn't know what to do. I was just like, can you please quiet down because I'm scared they're gonna get me and kill me.
She heard them asking her mother for money and ransacking the house, but they didn't find anything.
And he said, hey, grab the boy, the cops are coming.
Everyone else hid, but 10-year-old Nicholas Fierros.
I just heard him crying. I'm like, oh my God, he didn't hit. And I kind of felt bad because I didn't tell him to hide or anything.
Nicholas and his cousin had been watching a movie when the robbers barged in.
That's when they got the older one, Nick, and they wrapped him with tape and they took him.
10-year-old Nicholas Fierros was found 5 miles away from home on Ann Arbor. The people who found him were in these patrol cars.
I actually feel pretty good now, but he's here with us, and I'm actually pretty thankful for everybody that say pray for Nick and all.
Nicholas's father owns a construction company. Dallas police is looking into the possibility that the robbers may have known that he sometimes carries cash and that was the motive, but they hope to learn more from Nicholas. They're interviewing him right now at the Children's Advocacy Center. Then he'll go to Children's Hospital where they will check him out to make sure that he is okay. But the family members, again, very relieved that he has been found alive. Reporting live, Rebecca Lopez, Channel 8 News.
All right, Rebecca, now to the wild weather that swept through Dallas earlier this evening. Some of you didn't see it drop, but some of you saw a storm that was so strong it blew over this billboard. This is near Central and North Fitzhugh. And the damage to this uptown garage is clear from HD Chopper 8. Crumbled concrete all over the place after the facade of an uptown garage came crashing down. That's where Channel 8's Jobin Paniker is live tonight. He's outside the Taylor Apartments on Carlisle. Jobin?
Well, John, the cleanup has started here. At first a lot of people thought it was just really loud thunder, and then they come to see this. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. 15 minutes was all it took.
It was just a loud roar.
Heavy rain, high winds, scared people.
It looks like a mini earthquake just happened.
Especially when it's your truck split in half under an apartment building parking garage.
It's gone, man. My truck's gone. That's my baby's gone.
In Uptown, the facade now a crumbled heap on the ground. Spectators, plenty of them.
I heard the commotion. I thought it was just a thunderstorm.
And how often do you see this? In Fort Worth, this woman decides to float down to where she needs to go. And then this in Dallas, a billboard, a very large billboard, comes unhinged and smacks down on this car. The storm was swift. It came with fury.
Makes you value life a little bit more.
Christian can only think in what ifs. He was just seconds from getting back into this truck before all this happened.
That Time Warner guy, it's his lucky day.
We are live here at the Taylor Apartments. Police are not letting any cars into the parking garage, but they are letting cars leave. Reporting live here in Dallas, Jobin Paniker, Channel 8 News.
All right, Jobin. All right, now a live look. This is Dallas Love Field. Southwest Airlines says maintenance crews are inspecting 3 planes. They were peppered with pea-sized hail. There was also a lightning strike on the runway. Today's weather did delay and cancel a long list of flights. So in here with Pete now in the Weather Center. That cell over Dallas really developed quickly.
Well, it developed very quickly, but I'm looking at the Taylor right there. That damage there with that overhang that fell down on that guy's van. I mean, we had some strong winds, but there's some structural issues going on there too. So it's not just the winds.
Okay.
The winds may have exacerbated an ongoing problem. So they weren't that strong. Now they were strong enough to create some issues out there. And 50 to 60 miles an hour. That's what we have. We didn't have anything even close to 90 or stronger than that, but I do want to show you what's taking place right now. The severe weather threat has come to an end. We have a little isolated rain out there, but what took place just a couple of hours ago were downburst winds, and downburst winds are strong downward moving air associated with a thunderstorm downdraft. So the air is forced in all directions. It just fans out as it hits the ground. The damage can cover areas as small as a mile or maybe as large as 200 plus miles with those downburst winds. We had our towering cumulus today, the cumulonimbus thunderstorm, and you have those updrafts and downdrafts within the winds. It's the downdrafts. The air was rushing out of the base of the thunderstorm, and those downdrafts, 50 to 60 miles an hour, that's what moved through downtown Dallas, parts of Tarrant County, and a few other locations. I'll have more pictures, more thunderstorms tomorrow. Your full forecast is coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Pete. We turn now to what's being called the most sweeping abortion decision in 2 decades, the biggest one since Roe versus Wade. Matter of fact, Roe v. Wade stemmed from a Texas case, so does today's ruling. This was the scene on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court today. Celebration from supporters after a 5-3 decision striking down provisions of what was known as HB 2. It was a Texas abortion law requiring providers to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital and requiring that clinics meet the same standards as surgical centers. The majority opinion came from Justice Stephen Breyer, who wrote, "Each places a substantial obstacle in the path of women seeking a pre-viability abortion. Each constitutes an undue burden on abortion access, and each violates the federal Constitution." Texas HB 2 hit the national stage nearly 3 years ago. That's when then Senator Wendy Davis of Fort Worth held the filibuster in the state capitol. She spent 11 hours arguing against HB 2, and today she said it was time well spent.
At the time, the statement being made that we may have won the battle, but we had lost the war. Well, today was the war, and we won.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was also a state senator at the time of the filibuster, and today he had a much different reaction to the Supreme Court ruling.
It doesn't matter what you're in the hospital for or in a clinic for. You should have the ultimate safety standards. We're not a third world country, but the Supreme Court leftists apparently don't understand that.
As for the clinics that closed following the added requirements, reopening isn't quite as easy as you might think. Texas Tribune reports before the law, more than 40 licensed facilities operated in Texas. Today, 19 remain. The Tribune reports that many of the shuttered clinics sold their buildings or let go of their leases. Some surrendered their license to the state, and to reopen, they need to apply for a new license, rehire staff, and raise funds for new medicine and equipment. It is truly a heartbreaking image. Firefighters lining a hospital hallway to say one last goodbye to a fallen colleague. Trevor Gage was a White Settlement firefighter, a loving husband, a father of 3. He died in a hit-and-run crash over the weekend. Channel 8's Todd Unger attended his memorial service tonight.
If one word describes the masses that huddled together with candles on Monday evening, it is simply family.
When things like this happen, White Settlement, they show up.
Firefighter Trevor Gage died over the weekend. His motorcycle struck in a hit-and-run accident on Spur 341. With his firefighter brothers in front, Gage's actual family takes comfort together this evening at a vigil, his widow addressing that runaway driver directly.
I hope you get caught for murdering my husband. I will never stop looking for you till you were caught or the day that I die.
The investigation is far from over. Detectives still looking for the black F-150 pickup they think struck Gage and then sped off Saturday afternoon. It could all stem from road rage. Investigators think Gage was only hit after something happened earlier on I-30.
Yes, I believe it. That's where it started. Anything, if you think it's small and minuscule, please call us if you saw that truck, the motorcycles.
Gage was taken by procession to a funeral home this afternoon, and flags remain at half staff outside the station.
He was teaching our 8-year-old to ride a bike. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I just want prayers.
His widow, Brandy, bravely spoke to us earlier on Monday, remembering above all else a family man gone in an instant. Now she and this entire community are praying the person responsible for Trevor's death is caught. So since this weekend, police have had a number of good tips come in. They are working some leads. They're also looking to see if there's any surveillance video that might have captured part of this crash. Let's go again in that suspect car. I want to bring up the information there. A black F-150 pickup truck, limited edition, they think, coming off the line between 2010 to 2014. Definitely going to have some siding damage, probably on the rear passenger side. Anyone who might know anything about a truck like that, of course, encouraged to contact White Settlement Police. By the way, memorial service and a funeral is set for this weekend. More details on that at WFAA.com. Reporting live, Todd Unger, Channel 8 News.
All right, Todd. Remember this video? McKinney police officer slamming a 15-year-old girl to the ground outside a pool party. A year ago this happened. It sparked a national conversation on race relations and the use of force. Just last week, a grand jury decided not to indict the police officer. And tonight, community members, the McKinney Police Department, and the district attorney's office had their own conversation about changes they would like to see made moving forward.
Community perception is so important in this case, in these type cases. The trust that y'all have in your police departments and the DA's office is so important. We really put a lot of thought into how we did this.
Community members said that they hope officers will undergo more diversity training to better understand the different groups of people they are sworn to serve. All right, now to Vote 2016 and the race for the White House. A new poll conducted by the University of Texas and the Texas Politics Project shows Donald Trump leading Hillary Clinton by 41 to 33 percentage margin points in Texas. 53% of Republicans polled view Trump as favorable. That is up since the last poll by the same group 3 months ago when Ted Cruz was still in the race. At the time, the GOP candidate had 47% favorable rating. New tonight, a look at a proposal that would make the State Fair of Texas smaller. It was developed by Ash Lime Strategies. Their rendering shows the current park borders and fence line, the path most people take walking around the park, and it highlights the areas that do not see as much traffic. Now, the second drawing is where it gets interesting. The proposal calls for a shrinking of the fenced-in area and essentially condensing the parts of the park most attended into one area. There have been several ideas floated on improving both the State Fair and Fair Park. This is just one of them. The Park Board meets Thursday.
Classrooms trashed, school walls tagged, the search for vandals who caused this mess. You've seen their faces, but have you really heard them?
Love lifts us up where we belong.
The songs of hope from Dallas's homeless.
Vacation's over. I'm back, so let's get back to work and talk a little Rangers baseball tonight.
Vandals have caused an absolute mess. Meadow Creek Elementary School in Fort Worth. The Crowley ISD shared these photos. They show spray-painted walls inside and outside the school and what looked to be some burned books and school supplies. Surveillance video of that break-in has now been turned over to the police. That Irving teen who made global headlines for his homemade clock, he's back in North Texas. Ahmed Mohammed arrived this afternoon. He's been living in Qatar, away from the limelight. That followed his arrest last fall when a teacher thought his clock was a bomb. The teen, who says he is homesick, will spend the summer in America visiting relatives. He'll also meet with several tech companies that reached out to him after his arrest. You know, we have covered a lot of stories about homelessness in Dallas in recent months, the closure of Tent City, ongoing issues on downtown streets. And tonight, we want you to meet some people that may make you see and hear the homeless a bit differently. Here's Bradley Blackburn.
Every Wednesday at 9,
I want to be on time.
This is the line in downtown Dallas.
Good morning. Don't leave me hanging.
They file in, head up the steps, and warm up.
Shoulders up.
Getting ready to sing.
Ready, go.
This is the Dallas Street Choir. The voices and faces here, all homeless.
I know people here out on the streets, but the fact that I didn't know that they had such awesome voices is what inspired me.
Shatirka Asbury is a new member. She's been homeless for the last few months since she lost her apartment.
Because this is my home.
She took us to the park where she stays near the American Airlines Center.
At this point in my life, I'm in this situation.
About a quarter of these members sleep out in the elements. Many of the rest stay in shelters. But for an hour a week, they can put those worries aside.
I can't help them find a job. I can't help them find housing. But what I can do is make their day better.
That's good.
Jonathan Pallant founded the choir in 2014. He's a professional choir director who teaches.
Don't be afraid of that.
And connects.
All right.
He's a character.
Jonathan is the best teacher that I've known.
He's helped the street choir grow from fewer than 10 members to more than 75 who show up every week. They performed at the Windspear, the City Performance Hall, and even have an invitation to perform at Carnegie Hall next year.
We are a living representation that it doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, how much money you have, or where you lay your head at night, that we have a voice and we have something to say.
In a city struggling with homelessness, their voices have power to remind us that beauty is everywhere. In Dallas. Bradley Blackburn, Channel 8 News.
Nice choir, very nice choir. I hope all those folks tonight get in some shelter, because man, I tell you, we got popped really hard between like 6 and 7, because you know 5:30 it was.
There wasn't a whole lot well, we had a little thunderstorm activity at 5:30, but right about 5:45, 6 o'clock is when things really started to pick up. Dallas County had it, parts of Denton County. Tarrant County was hit pretty hard too. Some heavy rain, some spots saw 2 to 4 inches of rain. Now, I want you to check out these pictures that I have. Look at this right here, Capitol and Fitzhugh. We had some wind damage there, knocked this power line over there. That right there in North Fort Worth, Saginaw, an inch and a half of rain right there. That happened in about 20 minutes. It didn't take long. Right here, Celso Alcala Mills tweeted me that one. I don't know what he was talking about. He had a branch down in his tree, a limb down at his house. There's amazing weather, rainbow over Hazlet tonight.
Oh, nice. That is nice.
You like that one there, John? Here's another one right here.
Man,
Jared
I
Christopher.
like that.
Lots of lightning. That lightning bolt right there is 53,000 degrees Fahrenheit, not Kelvin, John. Fahrenheit. So that's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. And we have 2 more. Look at the heavy rain there in the backyard. Look how it just pooled up. But again, 15 to 20 minutes, 2 to 4 inches of rain. Didn't take long at all. I thought that was pretty. Southwest Fort Worth, Lamb at Con Tanya. tweeted me that one. So thanks to everyone for the tweets tonight. All right, let me get into this, show you just exactly what took place. So what happened, we had an outflow boundary earlier tonight, little mini cold front, if you will. We had some thunderstorms up in Oklahoma. You see that little outflow boundary? We see these a lot in the spring. Occasionally we see them in the summertime, but they help trigger thunderstorms. That's what triggered these storms tonight. Dallas County, parts of Denton County, and also Tarrant County. So here's what an outflow boundary is. We had collapsing thunderstorms earlier today up in Oklahoma. Those collapsing storms to the north of us, they generate this cool pool of air, and it rushes out in advance of the storm. That's that little outflow boundary. That little boundary helps trigger additional thunderstorms. Right now, we have stable air on the backside of that outflow boundary, so not much going on the rest of tonight. It's into the day tomorrow. Tonight, we've calmed down. That's a good thing. Still a little warm, still a little muggy out there. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, a very weak cold front will be on top of us. Today, we hit 99, hottest temperature we've had so far this year, and tomorrow high about 94. So we'll be a little bit cooler tomorrow behind that front, and we'll have some thunderstorms fire up possibly in the morning. Also, as we head through the afternoon, about 30 to 40% of us see rain tomorrow. It will not be widespread, but those spots that pick up rain, that same potential exists tomorrow for those gusty winds, the heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. Same potential tomorrow that we had today. Very isolated, not widespread, but it's a possibility again tomorrow. So the isolated rain ends. 78's the low tonight, warm and muggy. There's the 94 tomorrow. 30 to 40% of us see rain tomorrow. More likely to see thunderstorm activity in central Texas, Waco down to Austin tomorrow. There's the next 7 days. And as we head through the next 7, we'll hit 95 Wednesday, 96 Thursday, 97 Friday. Friday, July 1st, 97. Heat continues Saturday, 98. Sunday, it's our first triple-digit day. The average first 100-degree day is July 1, so that'll happen on July 3rd. The 4th will hit 101. And look at this, Dale. When you left, we were doing a 3-day forecast. You've been gone so long, I now do a 10-day forecast. Hot on Tuesday, hot on Wednesday, and still hot on Thursday.
You figure if you do 10 days, one of them's bound to be right. I mean,
I was just waiting.
Yeah, you like this?
So did the I do like that. Yeah. You lose your tie?
I did. Well, I was going to wear a tie, and I started to put it on, and then I started to strangle myself because I decided to just kill myself when I thought about coming back to work. So I'll wear a tie tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, assuming it's back from the cleaners. I only have one. Hey, the Rangers are playing.